Cool. So the players are preparing already, and I think
Exactly.
well, they got their own play mats this time. So we got the dices as live counters. I think it's also one of the easiest way here for our stream. So we got two players. Today is modern, actually, so we should tell about what is the format modern. We got 160 players here in Bern at this place. So it's really great. It's one of the largest, even not the largest tournament in Switzerland since the last tournament that we got, the Arabuga
And it
Magic
was still here, yes.
2019. It's even in the same place. It's great. And we got
Uh,
players from all of Switzerland, even
yeah.
from abroad.
Yes. We have a lot of players, and I think the hype was great also for them. I mean, it's like for us. I mean, having it was there was a little bit of fear for me, at least coming into the event, that there
Okay.
was not a lot of people, because I mean, one thing makes you say like, "Ooh, there will be a lot of people because there was no Magic for 2 years and so on,"
Yeah.
and the other thing is like, when things restarted a little bit after Corona, after we are not after a corona, but still, the things are getting a little bit more like we are doing stuff, and now we are getting like a little bit more like, let's do stuff, let's start the it's like 6 months that we are again living a little bit of life.
Yeah, exactly. So also FNMs were coming back from
Yeah,
the
exactly.
LGS. They were also starting
But
with some tournaments.
I saw that at the beginning it was really hard to convince people again to play.
Exactly.
Because people had like their routine of staying at home. It was like a little bit like, okay, I will sit at home and do my stuff.
Yeah.
Now it seems like 160 people that are not at home and doing stuff is
That's perfect.
that's perfect, I would
Because I
say.
also think when COVID came or when it hit us, our society, I think there was like some sort of a change that people started. Even I did that. Play a little bit more online Magic
Yeah.
Arena. I don't play Magic Online, but Arena, and then I started playing more and more and more. So because this was one of the only thing next to reading articles and
Yeah.
so on, so you can really
To keep
play.
keep yourself into Magic.
Exactly. And now it's really we're at this linchpin, let's say, where there is like some sort of coming back or well, I hope there is some sort of coming back.
Yeah.
So it's not just like so
160 people. We hope that this will
yeah.
be the start. I hope in GPs in the future.
Oh, this would be
That's
awesome.
my hope. But we will see. Now the start is 160 people. Battle for Magic. Round number 2. We have Sam Marty, as I know, and I don't know the opponent. Sam Marty is one of the well-known players in Switzerland. One of
Mhm.
the best known players in Switzerland, and we will see how this match will go on.
So what kind of decks will we see now? What do you think?
I mean, there are a lot of decks in modern.
There's the question.
Okay,
So
one deck. It's hard to see, but we will get there.
Utopia Sprawl, Maximilian on the other
Utopia
side.
Sprawl is probably elementals. Okay, Benjamin against Maximilian. The match. We don't know which side and which side, but still.
So we see a turn one Arbor Elf.
Yeah.
Classic. So we for
Okay.
sure see that turn to Utopia Sprawl, I guess.
Yes, it's probably a Ponza deck, not what I expected. But and again against a blue-red Morkite deck, probably.
Darcy already smashing or sitting on the battlefield with summoning sickness.
I mean, second turn Utopia Sprawl. If he has another green source, it will be like heavy. I will get there.
5 mana. Cool.
4 mana.
There is a second Darcy, Dragon Rage Channeler, for our is it player?
Sure.
Bubble.
This checking. There is a problem.
We'll learn how this
Works.
technology works on this side. And I guess this was a bolt. And swing for one with Darcy.
That's a really great start. because the other player had Utopia Sprawl and Arbor Elf. This way, the start would have been Utopia on a land and just for 4 mana and do stuff and be annoying. But still, like this, I feel like the blue-red player is heavy favorite in this game. Heavy.
Well, let's see if they're well. At least a start. It's fantastic for the blue-red player, of course. With two of these aggressive Darcies,
the problem
maybe there will
is
be something to feed the graveyard. Then we get 2/3/3 flyer hitters.
the problem is when you speak about the start, and it could be also the ending.
Maybe
it's like it could be really fast. It could be really fast. I mean.
Well, I was sure to see also a Ragavan, but okay, I mean, Darcy is also really nice one drop for the red players. Actually, the red players, they get some really two nice one drops from the last set.
Two insane one drops.
Yeah,
it's not
it's
nice.
crazy. But I mean, there's an uncommon and a mythic, and both of them, they are really swinging for the blue-red decks.
And it is hard to say which one is better. It's crazy to say it, but I mean, Dragon Rage is crazy good.
You need to feed your graveyard a little bit. Actually, with so many spells, this is good. It's possible, so...
I think it's a good thing to play spells in Magic.
Yeah,
that's a good trick. I mean,
it's a good trick to not hold on only on lands.
Exactly.
So swing again. I guess this was turn 3, so there was no land drop for is a player. But we see on the left side there is already the Utopia Sprawl. Well, it's not that effective as with an Arbor Elf, but already still sitting on 3 mana now. It's a great thing for if the player needs that mana, and we don't know what will be the first play in this game.
Okay, the thing now is the start is heavy from blue-red, but at the same time we see that it's not so good, because as we see, the lives are 15 to 15. This way, we don't see the graveyard, but we know that they are not 3/3s, the two Dragon Rage.
Yeah.
This way, the start is not this aggressive as I thought, because normally when you start like with Dragon Rage Channeler, Bolt, Bubble, it's really easy to have 4 different cards into the graveyard, and normally your opponent is kind of dead. But at the sometimes like this, probably he is heavy on lands, because it's strange that he didn't play land on turn 3. This way, I don't know what he has in his hand. It's really strange.
See,
maybe he's a more controlled deck, because it's so strange. What can you have in your hand that you do nothing on turn 2?
Turn 2 was he didn't play a land on turn 3. He gets the counter spell.
Yeah, it's a counter spell turn, and that's why he didn't do like crazy stuff on turn 2.
Yeah,
and he didn't went full aggressive with the Dragon Rage. He didn't try to go for the 6 punch, but he went just with 2 little damage. And now I think we have to see the graveyard in the future, that we will try to get it there for you guys. But for this round, it will be like this. And we don't know how much we can see from the live total how much they are, because
boom.
Okay,
here's our little monkey.
Ragavan goes for the 2. Let's see, is it this 8? Yeah, I think so. This way it will go to 7. Yeah, exactly. Boom. Okay, the channelers now are 3/3. The Ragavan hit. Let's see what he gets from the top. Let's see, he gets a treasure. Let's see if you want to play
Blood Moon.
Okay.
With exiled.
Yeah, looking at the start, I think Ponza has a really tough time. Double 3 fire.
Yeah, I mean, it can be over next turn. It's a good possibility. But still, we don't know what will come on the left side, because I mean, he had the Bloodbraid Elf. You never know what you get a good cascade into it, which is also really nice.
There is a Chandra. There is the God, the blue-red God. And there is a Mountain and an Arbor Elf, I think. I mean, it depends.
Attacking again. Maybe there is an Arbor Elf blocker for
No,
no, there's a bigger one.
no, there is the Chandra and the Arbor Elf
Oh.
as a blocker. Yes,
Oh, all right.
Chandra will hit one Dragon Rage channeler, and there will be a 3/3 that hits. The opponent goes to 4.
What? Yeah, I'm thrilled to see what will come as an answer from the blue red player to this, because there already is now one planeswalker, one god, and we get the Bloodbraid Elf on the Ponza. Is it Ponza? I didn't see any of the land destruction spells or
Yeah,
any of the big hits like the Titan, Infernal Titan.
it doesn't play a lot of these cards anymore. It's more like Blood Moon, as it has good starts. The lists that I see the most are the ones with the Dragoon, with the game ended just like this.
Yeah.
What happened? I think there are some bolts.
Yeah, there will be the 1/0. Or is it? Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, let's say since Modern Horizons 2 started or it was released, I think, or is it only my impression that there was like some sort of, okay, we are not anymore in a turn 3 format, we're in a turn 2 format or something. It even gets one turn faster again with all these red drops. I mean, for example, I see also some Izzet control players who play for Ragavan. I mean, actually, in a control deck, you have more this also aggressive type of cards in it, because there's so many things. And also Darcy now, the Dragon Rage channeler, there's big hits coming as earlier drops in the game.
Yes, but the format is not really faster, to be honest. I think the format now is there is more interaction. I mean, because you get more free spells, and there are not free spells that give you faster starts. It's just more free spells like Solitude and so on that give you more attrition. Yep. And having more attrition makes the game a little bit longer, not a little bit shorter. There are still like decks that can finish the game. The crazy thing is still the start, obviously, because now start like this just that's a normal start in this format, and it is Dragon Rage Channeler, I bolt to your guy, and I play a bubble. That's kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah,
because
Dragon it reminds me some sort of Death Shadow. Like, turn 1, turn 2, and then let's go.
The crazy thing is not about the creatures that you put into play. The crazy thing is about the fact that you have 2 creatures into play, you have Pressure into play, and at the same time you have cards that make card quality advantage. Yeah. Because you will scry every time, you will put cards in the graveyard. That's crazy. I mean, it's like Ragavan and Dragon Rage Channeler are both crazy because they are not just good aggressive cards. They are good cards also in the late game, normally. Ragavan is less good in the late game because there will be blockers and so on. Yeah. But if you play against a control deck, Ragavan is good also in the late game. And the Channeler is good in every moment of the game. It's just crazy.
A big one. So, but actually, what do you think about the introduction of Counterspell in Modern? Because we already know Counterspell was an amazing card in Legacy, heavy played. It's like all the other formats, and now it's in Modern as well.
For me, it was like it was stupid not to have it, because why? You have also Mana Leak in the format. I don't think Mana Leak is worse than different. We are not speaking like about a card that is strictly better. Just a card that is different from another card that is really.
So you think it was just a matter of time that we will see Counterspell appearing also
if
in
they
Modern?
Wanted to bring it in Modern, they could bring it in Modern, and that was not so. It's not saying like if it is, you know, there is a difference, obviously, having Counterspell in Modern or not having Counterspell. But if you think about the other cards that they bring in Modern like that, we cannot like say Solitude or Ragavan or Dragon Rage Channeler are cards that are just insane. Counterspell is good, but it will not bring a big change.
A big change, but more the other cards like.
The other cards will bring a big change.
I think it's also very important to see, or interesting to see, for example. Eldrotron, it's a nice deck. We know it's here in the format since some years, and now there's just like an red Eldrotron deck, which really benefits also from Bone Crusher Giant, for example. But of course, the main reason to play it is Ragavan. So it's really interesting to see like this one card has such a huge impact.
Yeah, there are. I think it's fun that there are a lot of people that speak about. I played mostly limited, but I played modern, and I looked a lot of modern deck lists and modern tournaments. I have to be honest. I think the format is really good at the moment. It is really the fun is the fun thing is it's really like that's correct. It's 1-0 for Izzet. The really fun thing about it is there are a lot of crazy cards. They mashed up all the things in the format, and at the same time, what happened? It happened just that it's I think red to blue.
Yeah, we got it wrong because on the right side was Izzet.
Okay.
Sorry for that. Thank you. Thank you, Melone Mikey. Great. Funny name.
It's crazy. They put Solitude, they put Fury, they put so many good cards, and if you look at them, you think that the format will just collapse. Because I think Urza Saga, all people talked like the format would collapse, and I think it didn't collapse. I think Modern is in a good shape. That's my opinion. I think Modern is in a good shape. It's totally different from before, but at the same time, the games are interesting. And the people that are good at playing Magic are winning tournaments. And online, they are making good results. I think the format is in a good shape. A lot of people say, like, no Saga, no. I think at this point, we can see that there are so many different decks that you can play a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly. But I really have to say I'm not a fan of Saga. Well, I'm not a fan of playing against it. This card is just insane. It's so silly. Can do create two of these tokens and so on.
I think
get a hammer, get a pithing needle.
Sure,
it's crazy.
The card is really good, but how can you say that it is better than Ragavan, or better than Touch-Channeler, or better than Fury or Solitude?
That's difficult to compare.
Exactly. I think they put so many great cards that they are like, okay, now mess with all this and see what you can do. Okay, let's see the deck list. There was a start with Ragavan, and a Ragavan hit.
A Ragavan hit his answer, the bolt.
Yes, and he didn't use it. This way, he has probably a counterspell up.
Yeah.
Because he could fetch for just the bolt in face. You're happy to make some damage.
Yeah, of course, with this deck, yeah. But this is like the dream start for this player. There's the answer, but maybe as you predicted already very well, there could be the counterspell. Let's see.
That's probably a counterspell. Thanks a lot, Edu. We are checking a little bit the deck lists. Double blue-red deck is a little bit more controlish with Force of Negation and double Archmage Charm and Spell Pierce. It's a little bit more counter-intensive. Tempo, I would say.
Yeah, also with 4 Murktide Regent in it.
Yeah, that's the classic.
But this is like one of the top decks in Modern at the moment with this Murktide Regent, I guess.
It's funny because it's kind of old. Now that all it goes online, that all of the tournament are online, it feels like Murktide. It was the best performing deck for like 1 month.
Okay.
Now I feel like maybe it's already like outdated or not anymore like the top tier deck of the format. Not anymore. But it's still really good, I think.
Yeah. This
It,
is.
it has some problems with Solitude
Hmm.
because white blue decks have a decent matchup.
Ragavan is in the grave. But we got Darcy again on the battlefield, maybe smashing already for some nice damage in the next round or in the next turn.
Yeah, the Ponza deck is it's not what I expected to be. I saw some Ponza lists playing Manamorphose and the 4/4 New Dragon, the 4/4 for 4 mana. That when you cast a spell, you can discard your hand and draw cards for the colors of the spell that you cast. But this is not this kind of deck list. It's the Ponza effect of this deck list. It's just like 4 Blood Moon and 1 Magus of the Moon. I mean, for the disruption, and the other disruption that it has is Clotis for the graveyard. For the rest, it's just a red-green creatures deck.
What do you think about including? Well, we see that this player has 3 Clotis in his deck. What do you think about to include 3 of those graveyard hits in the main deck?
I'm not a big fan, to be honest. 3 is, for me, too much already. I don't think the card is a must. That way, having a card that is not a must in 3 copies, and it is legendary, is not like my the thing that I would like to do. But still, I think it's still it's still interesting. Clotis is interesting, but it depends a lot on the metagame, right? But
Yeah, definitely.
the really interesting thing about this red green deck is that Clotis will be animated.
It's possible to animate
Yes.
it, at least.
I think it's pretty easy to animate it because
Yeah.
you are playing 4 Fury, 2 Glory Bringer, 2 red sources, all of them. Then you are playing Ren, and you are playing also Bloodbright Elf and Seasoned Pyromancer. This way, just a normal start like Utopia Sprawl into Clotis, into normal start, kind of normal start. Utopia into
In a perfect world.
Utopia into or Utopia or Arbor Elf into Pyromancer into no, sorry, into Clotus into Bloodbright Elf into Pyromancer. That would be Clotis on turn 3 that attacks. It can happen. I mean, 8 sources for 1 mana that activate this. You need to be a little bit lucky.
So we got Endurance.
Endurance is great against this deck. Really, really good. It's a really good sideboard card that you feel like it's just a card against dredge or decks like with a lot of graveyard. But at the same time, you want to have a solution to a Dragon Rage Channeler.
Yeah.
You want to have a solution to Murktide. And at the same time, a 3/4, you cannot bolt a 3/4.
Well,
or better, you
it's a
can
good
bolt
thing.
a 3/4, but it's not at his best if you bolt a 3/4.
No, but it's a big blocker again as well. Very important in this matchup. And there we see Clotis. Here it is on the battlefield. Well, Clotis, I play it as well in my 3-color deck, but I really had only used it for graveyard type. But I think the downside actually of this card is that when it enters the battlefield, it does nothing. Only if you got enough,
yes.
or only if it's a creature. And this really is some sort of a problem. I think, well, maybe it would be too strong to already do the stuff when Clotis enters the battlefield at the same time. But yeah, I mean, actually, at the moment we see that our green-red players on 15 life and even less life for the tempo player, for Izzet player. So actually, there's the point maybe where, or it can be an important point in the match where, in the game where the red-green player starts to stabilize.
Yeah, we can give the names of the 2 players.
Maximilian, who is the
Max.
And
really? Yeah, no. We have Benjamin Graf with the Murktide deck, and we have Max with the Ponza deck, kind of Ponza deck. I would say it's still a Ponza. The idea is still the same. Try to make some disruption and then
Put the
Black
Blood Moon on the battlefield. So there's like a Ragavan on the battlefield and now not really doing anything.
That's the classic moment for blue red that you have to resolve. It's the only way to go out of it. And at the same time, the red green deck is play with Clotis battlefield is chunking your graveyard slowly, and
it's
eating
draining
also
for
your
2 all the
life.
time.
Exactly. I feel like in this, look, activated Clotis.
There is the big smash.
And the activated Clotis is because of the Bloodbraid Elf.
And there's another card on top.
Yeah, I think
I cannot see it.
We have to.
Sorry for that. But actually, there's a lot of damage now going.
Yeah,
going from Ponza to Izzet, to direction of Izzet. So
it's easy to make them a lot less damage, because just a bolt on Bloodbraid Elf would be just 3 damage.
Yeah.
Because the Clotis would not anymore a creature, and so on.
So very interesting to see what will be the answer of the Izzet player to come out of this tricky situation now.
I think
so. Start attacking. Why not?
I think it's hope.
Yeah.
Exactly, and the hope is just hope it is not anymore there.
So now we got the 1/1.
Yeah.
Hello again.
Hello guys.
It's us still. No, but this was a really interesting game. Now I found the first game was really clear with the 2 Darcys for the Izzet player, and now we really saw the opposite a little bit. There was a strong start by Izzet again, very fast. They're also hitting with Ragavan turn 1, and then started this stabilization from the Ponza player.
Be real. Honestly, at the end, it was just about the fact that the 3/4 just took care about all the board. It was just, I hit you with Ragavan. I don't hit I hit the bolt. I don't hit something that I can play. You try to hit my Ragavan. I counter it. Ragavan hits another time. But the turn after, I get my 3/4 that just takes care about all the things on the board, and it's over, kind of. This way, I mean. Is Reto not playing himself? I would say he's not playing.
No, I'm not playing myself. I'm really sorry for that. No, it's better for the turn.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No, actually, in the last year, I played once Modern. So I'm just actually sitting at home looking at my Jund deck. And yeah, the Goyfs, they are in cages. They are hungry, of course.
Are you petting your Goyfs?
Yeah, I petted them a little bit, but they became really aggressive and they want to jump out of the deck box. So maybe on the next situation, of course, I will try to play some Magic or some Modern again.
Is the future Jund Saga?
I don't think so. Well, actually, I'm a really bad player because I'm really bad actually in adapting my deck. So that's one of the main issue. Actually, if I will play Jund at the moment, it should be with Saga or with Lurrus. But you know, I only play cards that I really love. That's why I'm not that successful. And actually, the card that I really love, the future is now. Yeah, the future is also that I'm becoming too old. No, it's just like I want to play Liliana. I want to play, I want to play the cards I love, and that's why. But actually, when we played last week, some Modern, it turned out very well. Okay. Because I played 4 Ignoble Hierarch, which is actually good cards. You can cast turn 2 Lily, turn 3 Bloodbraid Elf, and then you get a really good pressure as well. So also for this, let's say, old or boomer Jund, there is some more stuff coming. Yeah, but of course, it's not the Jund at the moment. The Jund is
no problem. You can cry, right? It's not a problem.
Sometimes I need a little bit of space to cry. I mean, everyone needs that. Yeah, and you know, but actually now as a dad, I really don't play that much Magic. But I try the best to do it again in the future, of course. Maybe you can give me some ideas, how to do it.
You have to have a good grandma and a good grandpa, because that's the key.
Yes. So again, turn 1 Ragavan from Izzet Murktide.
Yes, turn 1 Ragavan. Still,
I'm always wondering, do they play some 30 Ragavan in their decks? Because it's always like turn one
I mean,
Ragavan.
8 1-drops is a good number.
It's a
Then
good
you are
number.
not sure about it, but it's still a really good number.
Rubber Elf,
Okay.
Utopia
Utopia
Sprawl,
Sprawl, Chandra, Fetchland, and another card that we don't know.
and Arbor Elf was gone. What will you
Oh,
see from top?
Pyromancer. It's a forest. The hand is a
One
forest.
swept to you.
Forest, Utopia Sprawl, Fetchland, Bloodbraid Elf. Now, okay, the start is really good, to be honest. Because now he plays Utopia Sprawl, and maybe a command.
So why tapping out all the mana? Ah, okay, this was
it's,
just...
So I think the next turn will be a Bloodbraid or a Chandra. I mean, it's a really important decision.
What would be the two ways now? Starting with Chandra in the next turn or starting with Bloodbraid Elf? How will it change the game?
It will change a lot because if you play with Bloodbraid, you are starting also a race. If you start with Chandra and you get a counterspell, starting the race one turn after will be a problem.
Yeah.
Because with Bloodbraid, you can hit something, you are playing 2 cards. That's already something. I mean, also if it gets countered or destroyed, one of the 2 cards will play. I think you have to play. Because Bloodbraid will be worse the turn.
Yeah.
Still, you can play Bloodbraid in the turn after to just block the, not start the race and just block the.
There's Serum Visions. What do you think about the cards consider in such a deck where you can look at the top card, you can put it in your grave, or you can draw it?
It's still not good enough.
Still not good enough.
No, but it's good. The card is really good, but still not good enough.
Yeah, we see on top there's a Bone Smasher Giant.
Oh, that's
a
really
Bone Crusher.
Good.
Sorry, not Smasher. But yeah, actually, it's the same.
Really good.
As a creature,
that's really good.
I mean, a 4.
Now there is no choice. He has to play the elf.
Now we will see. Let's see what will come now. We will see the star that you said with the Bloodbraid Elf or Chandra. I mean, Chandra will be dead in the next turn. So does it really matter?
It gives time. It gives time, but at the same time, it also can get hidden by Force of Negation.
Right.
But you know, if he has still Force of Negation, I would not. I think he has sideboard out. There are a lot of problems that in red green that are creatures. To be honest, a Fury in this spot.
The big
Fury is just
ooh, bye bye.
Much.
Let's see what we'll play here.
Bloodbraid.
Is the Bloodbraid, as you predicted. Here we go. Spin the wheel.
Okay, a good blocker.
Oh, why not?
And getting out of the graveyard makes so that Murktide can. I think this is great. It is funny how for the blue-red player, maybe he wanted to play the Murktide instead of the Giant. Okay, the turn before, maybe if he has it in his hand,
maybe,
and then he played the Giant because it's obviously better to get a 1 card gratis, free, and maybe this didn't pay off because now he has no graveyard in him anymore, and maybe he has his Murktide in his hand.
Murktide is a super expensive creature at the moment.
Yeah, kind of expensive.
So will there be an attack from the Panzer player? No, just being here, block.
Use the defensive deck.
All right.
In this matchup, you cannot. You want to make against a tempo deck. The name is a tempo deck. Tempo. he wants to kill you before he gets out of resources. This way, the other deck tries to get him out of resources. Iteration is the card that is kind of crazy. We are speaking about
this is a really, really good card.
We are speaking about the monkey. We are speaking about a lot of cards, but we are not speaking about iteration. Iteration is crazy. It's played in every format. Every.
Even
Vintage,
in Legacy, Vintage, really,
Legacy,
it's that good.
It's played in every format.
Wow.
Card is crazy.
This card actually, for me, well, I only played it in Limited on Arena, of course. What do you think about playing it turn 2 or playing it in a later turn?
You play it on 3 or later.
Where you really can make use of all the resources that you get with the exile hand.
Do you have a big love for Anticipate? The card Anticipate, look top 3, take a card. No one has a big love for Anticipate. This way, you don't want it to play it on turn 2.
Definitely.
Hello, Leonard.
Went his way to the graveyard.
Yeah, the camera is not at its best, but still, we fixed some stuff, and we are getting there. Okay, the Bloodbird was killed with an Holy Heat, I think, and he attacked with the Crusher, and the red-green player chosen to not block with the 3/4.
Maybe he was scared about some. No, it's a 3/4. Sorry for that.
But I think I would have. He's scared about the monkey. That's why. But I don't know if you can take 4 damage like this.
This monkey is annoying. You play annoying. Against it.
The monkey is really annoying. But still, about it.
Maybe can we have a look in some hand? What do you think about it?
Seems like a good idea.
So there's also another angle for Melon and Maike. I hope this will also fit what you want. Some hands, I have to agree. Yeah, they are.
Do you like them?
So we have an Arbor Elf.
Oh, he has a Dead Goni in his hand. If he had Dead Goni in his hand already, I don't understand why he didn't kill the giant.
Yeah.
I really don't understand why. Because if he had already the solution for the monkey,
well, to start attacking as well. Now Chandra handling the Bone Crusher Giant.
I think the fear, he has not the 5th land, it seems, right? Because there are 4 lands, we don't see the 5th. I think he has. And no. Arbor Elf, Pyromancer, and a Dead Goni.
And there's Murktide.
As predicted.
Even with Endurance in play, this deck is able to in 1 or 2 turns to recreate the graveyard in this way. I mean, this is amazing. This is crazy. But these are all shiny cards. This guy really loves his deck.
Double iteration. Why he had again a graveyard.
So there is an 8/8.
A little 8/8.
A little 8/8 flyer. So a reach 3/4 seems a little bit small now.
Kind of. Yeah, it's tough now for the red-green player. I mean,
is there something that the red-green player can handle this?
Yes, he has a Dead Goni still in his hand.
All right.
He played the Chandra, killed the Bone Crusher Giant, and he has the Dead Goni still in his hand. This way, he will play Dead Goni. Will pass the turn because the opponent has still 2 cards, 2 lands untapped.
Can be a count spell in this sense.
Yes, but still passing the turn doesn't make it better. I think he has to. He has a lot of money.
Oh, let's see, what will be the choice?
Chandra will go up.
Yeah, you can even produce mana with Chandra.
With Chandra.
Well, I think this is the only deck at the modern that really can make use of this Chandra. Because I didn't see any other deck playing it.
Oh.
I saw it in some years ago, but just as one of in a sideboard. But at the moment, it's like the only home for.
Yeah, the card is good. It's really good, but it's really expensive.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, in this deck, you can replay it play her so early and.
Okay, he took 2 mana with the Chandra to make the Pyromancer, and then having still 3 mana for the Dead Gone, because the part Gone is 3 mana. But he is still in the game, full in the game. He discarded the Arbor Elf and what else? Yeah, a lot of shoulders.
Yeah, he can handle this from the chat. All right, let's see.
I agree. It's still a really good game. The problem is he has still 4 cards in his hand.
There is our card. And Dagon.
Yeah, he played it in his turn. Makes sense to me.
There is no counter spell. This is also very good. Or maybe, well, there can be, but it would have been countered. But this is also a very important information that the Ponza player got now. So there's no counter. Maybe there is also more or easier to decide the next plays in the next turn as well. And boom, Ragavan.
Okay. Turn
Sure.
pocket. And just chum block it.
Oh, there we go. I play Chandra in my Valakut deck from Shniposabi. Ah, interesting, yeah.
And why he chump blocked is okay. Only he had no 4 card, not 4 card.
Oh. Could be nothing else to pressure. Because there's a very good wall, let's say, with these small, with 2/2, with 2/1/1s. And I mean, there's again a Murktide. But with this deck, I mean, this is really strong. We saw it that once we saw the graveyard removed, then we saw it played twice again. So, are there even any cards in the deck?
This time it's not an 8/8, it's just a 6/6.
Just
a 6/6.
Just a 6/6 flyer.
I really don't understand the chump block. Yeah, he has another monkey in his hand. Wanted another card in grave, but he didn't remove the he didn't remove the monkey at the end. This way, but maybe we don't have some information are there. I understand he decided that the monkey was useless now because with 2 tokens into play, double a 2/2, a 3/4, and so on. But from there, chump block, there is still other levels. I mean,
yeah, of course.
I'm not sure you want to chump block when you are at 16. Maybe he thought he needed it for the Murktide. But I think I would have kept it, but I don't have all the information. Maybe there is a reason. No, but because we can see only one.
2 bolts in the Blood Braid?
Yes, yeah. 2 bolts.
Actually, Blood Braid is a good thing at this. Good, of course. There is the blocker. There's the free flyer. To make with the bolt the 2-for-1 is not the optimal thing, but it can be possible. Fixing the other can. Perfect.
There we are.
Perfect.
Thanks a lot.
You can also see the hand of Maximilian, no, of of Benjamin, Murktide player.
Okay. Explosives.
Here. Tracking fiery islets. Draw another cards. Getting a bolt. Your special art. There are so many artworks now you get to remember.
I have to be honest, I hate that.
Oh, really? I love it.
That there are so many different arts is something that gets me crazy.
No, but I really love it because you can really create your individual deck.
No,
Isn't the deck something individual as well? Or is it just like I only got one card of each and then I do the best deck? I always take the best deck and the best deck.
No, my problem is Magic is a game and that where you won't know what's happening. And if every card has 15 different pictures, it's a little bit harder to happening. Another
again. Wow. And you still got cards in the library.
I think the chump. I don't know if it was a chump block with. Maybe it was a chump block with Ragavan. I really don't understand it. Also because having a Ragavan into play, sometimes you don't understand that the fact is you have a Ragavan into play. It's not just that your opponent has to keep a blocker. If you keep just one blocker and the blocker gets bolted, you get a card. This way, your opponent is inclined to keep also two blockers, maybe for Ragavan. This way, Ragavan cannot get in. I mean,
maybe it was the reason, as you said, with the graveyard. Fill it up, get a little more stuff in it.
I don't know.
And again, there is a 5/5 flyer.
There is a 5/5 flyer.
Gets smaller and smaller every time.
And there is a good board for the red-green deck. Oh, Clotis, he is a problem.
Ooh.
But there are only lands in the Murktide player graveyard because of 3 Murktide played in this game.
Clotis was countered.
Okay.
It's bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Clotis.
Actually, it's really interesting. I mean, both players, they got so many life points still, but they're really doing a good fight here. So, I mean, there's really good fight of resources, of waiting, of thinking. Keep also your resources in the hand with backup counter spells and so on. There's another Ragavan.
The player has just one Ragavan and one explosives. This way, explosives can be explosive for 3. No, because he has no 3 different colors. This way, I don't know exactly why.
Maybe he thinks about getting the color with Ragavan as well.
A little bit ambitious.
Chunky, but it can work. Actually, it's not a bad card if you play against the more time decks and so on.
Obviously, but
I mean, there you also just need one color.
He sided it in. That's my like. Oh no, he has one main deck also. This way, maybe he just kept the one main deck. But anyways,
maybe it also helps to fill the graveyard for Darcy as well. Dragon Rage Channeler.
He put it on 0. This way he can clear up the tokens. That's the idea.
Filling the graveyard.
And interesting. Let's see the life totals. 3 life for the red-green player and 13. Now he has a chump block with Endurance.
Bloodbraid.
Another Bloodbraid.
Clotis.
Animated Clotis. Okay.
Nice hit. For the Ponza player, not for the Izzet player.
Now it's really interesting because yes, probably, yeah, without any doubts, yes, to attack.
There is so much damage coming.
Yes, to attack with all.
Yeah. Cool,
without the endurance, obviously. That endurance will chump block. He will get hitten by 2 by the Ragavan because you will just have endurance behind. You have Clotis. Maybe Clotis can still be awake, how to say, because, but it can be interesting. Here, I think Ragavan will block and the explosive will be sacrificed. This way, the damage will be. The damage will be 2 damage. No, it will be 5 damage at the end because explosive will be sacrificed.
Handling the 2 tokens.
Okay. Now, okay, Clotis is still active this way. Now, there is a chump blocker, and we know that there is. Oh, he has 0 cards. This way, he has to draw a solution for endurance. He will draw 2 cards. Suspense. Oh, I think this explosive should not be in the deck, but still. I think it was a mistake by Benjamin. I played this blue-red deck a good amount.
Did you play it on Magic
Online?
Yes.
Ah,
okay. Are you a guy who really likes to play the best deck, or are you also a guy who tries?
I try to play the deck that no one knows.
That's the point.
But I like to play the best deck to understand what it does.
Okay.
To make 2 leagues of Magic Online with the best deck is something that I like to do, because you have to understand why it is the best deck or why it is the most popular deck, and that's really interesting.
So it makes you really also a better player if you play against this.
Yes, it helps a lot.
So there's only 3 life points left for Ponza.
It's 8 lives. Let's see. I think it's
a bolt would handle it.
Okay, that's a block. And no, why? Okay, so, yeah, it's still 7. Okay, for Clotis, it's still 7 this way. It's GG. The green-red deck won. Murktide got run over. It is really interesting.